Sligo Abbey has been described as the jewel in Sligo's heritage crown. Located in the heart of the town, the history of the Abbey is the history of Sligo, both being founded in the mid-13th century. Built by the Fitzgeralds, this centre of spiritual life was rebuilt following an accidental fire in 1414. Surviving the destructive reforms of Henry VIII and the Elizabethan settlement, the Abbey was abandoned following its desecration by the Cromwellian forces, but it continued to serve as a place of burial for the people of Sligo, and its graves bear witness to the cholera epidemic of 1832 before finally being closed to burials in 1847 at the height of the famine. The building itself retains a wealth of features from different areas, a rich diversity of architectural and sculptural styles surpassing much on view in other heritage sites. The quality of the offering means that a record 603 people visited Sligo Abbey in 2025, up 33% on the year before, making the Abbey County Sligo's most visited heritage site. But despite this attraction, it closes from the end of December until the middle of March each year. This disruption causes disruption to the rhythm of the year as well as to the staff team, who must either sign on for the period or find alternative employment. And this has resulted in experienced and talented guides finding employment elsewhere. The National Tourism Strategy, a new era for Irish tourism, explicitly prioritise the extending of the tour season and developing less mature regional destinations. Increasing year-round tourism is #1 objective in the Fall to Ireland destination and experience development plan for Sligo. The nearest comparable town centre OPW managed site in the region is Donegal Castle, which operates year-round, and Donegal has seen domestic tourism growth of 176% over the past decade, compared with 47% in Sligo over the same period. This illustrates then what can be done. Year-round opening has played a part in Donegal's success and is one which we could easily be replicated in Sligo immediately and at very little cost. The record-breaking visitor numbers from last year were achieved without capital investment or facility upgrades, and none are required to facilitate year-round opening. And the visitor centre, even all year round, the heating has to stay on to prevent damage, whether the attraction is open or not. And laying off staff, Minister, paying job seekers allowance for 2.5 months each year rather than wages that they want to earn means that savings achieved are minimal. The marginal cost of keeping a small core staff in place is low, and the benefits to the sound centre economy, particularly on a Sunday and Monday when other town attractions are closed, is disproportionately high. Sligo County Council have indicated their support for year-round opening, and just last month my Labour Party colleague, Councillor Anne Higgins, she was fully backed by all the council members in her motion to provide for year-round opening. The local authorities, Sligo County Council, have invested in a coach parking bay outside the entrance of the Abbey, and the Abbey features in the County Council's new AI tool. So it just shows that there's a new, Sligo County Council have developed this new AI itinerary tool, and it's the first of its kind in the country, and Sligo Abbey features prominently in this. So the record numbers achieved last year were the combination of 10 years' hard work by the part of the heritage professionals on the ground, and numbers overall have trebled from around 15,000 10 years ago. So what I'm asking for, Minister, is that you will take the steps required to ensure that Sligo Abbey can be open for visitors all year round. It's a reasonable request, and it gets full backing by Sligo Bid, which is the business community, and Sligo Local Authority, and it will pay dividends in the cultural, social and economic impact that's going to have on our town. Thank you.
Can I thank Senator Cosgrave for raising this very important issue, and apologise that Minister Moran can't be here. And you've certainly whetted the appetite for a visit, and you've certainly, in your wonderful contribution, illustrated the merits about Sligo Abbey, and I thank you for that. And it is, as you said rightly, a national monument in state care of significant historical, architectural and cultural importance. And I suppose you spoke, we're going back to the 13th century. I suppose if we were to do an analysis of it, Sligo Abbey is one of the most complete surviving medieval monastic sites in Ireland, and has been in state care since the 19th century. And I think if we look at what we've done on television with some of our programmes recently with Nationwide and others, that monastic life is one we should look at and revisit. And I concur with you, Senator. The Office of OPW has the statutory responsibility for protection, conservation and presentation, ensuring its long-term preservation while also facilitating appropriate public access. I suppose the key point for us, and you made reference with your contribution, is that it's a significant site for the OPW's heritage estate, and it's very much one of the most visited sites in the Northwest, with visit numbers going from 27,000 in 2022 to almost 39,000 in 2023 to 34,000 in 2024, and the figures for last year, we're told, are exceeding 45,000. So I think a key driver of this has been, you referenced the 4 guides, and I want to thank the guides, the OPW Guide Service, and to pay tribute to them in Sligo Abbey, which benefits all of us. But as you see, they're a dedicated and highly experienced guiding team who provide an extraordinary amount of expert interpretation, guided tours, education, engagement with schools, and that tailored experience that suits the group visitors and tour operators. And the service is consistent with other guide services across the OPW estate, and a strong emphasis is placed by OPW on storytelling, accessibility and local connection, significantly enhancing the visitor experience. In addition, Sligo Abbey delivers a diverse programme of events, significantly enhancing that cultural and community value, working with Sligo County Council and the other stakeholders. And as we know, includes initiatives during Heritage Week, Culture Night, Christmas programming, and the successful St. Patrick's Day event. I suppose the important point is that the event attracted almost 700 visitors in a single day, with strong engagement from local families, first-time visitors, demonstrating the effectiveness of targeted probing and expanding audiences. And as you said, the most visited heritage site, and it's an important one. The key point for us as a government, but for Minister Moran, is that strong collaboration at local, regional level being paramount to the success of Sligo Abbey. And the OPW works, as we know, with Fáilte Ireland, Sligo County Council, and a variety of the stakeholders and tourism bodies and educational establishments and community organisations. And I think the work aligns with the national and regional tourism policy framework, including a new era for Irish tourism and the Fáilte Ireland Sligo Destination and Experience Development Plan. I would make the point to Senator Cosgrave that opening arrangements for Sligo Abbey are kept under continuous review, taking account of visitor demand, conservation requirements, health and safety considerations, and the sustainable allocation of staffing and financial resources. In this context, the OPW has already taken significant steps to extend access. Last year, the visitor season was extended by 6 weeks. Building on this progress, this season will run from March 14th to 30 December. That's an increase again and again. It's a 10-month window and an opportunity for Sligo Abbey, and it puts on a par with many of the OPW's larger and more visited heritage sites nationally. And the extended season has also enabled a stronger focus on that shoulder, that off-peak season, where targeting and programming has proven effective in attracting both domestic and supporting local economic activity. And I'll just conclude in this, Cara, because it's an important point. I think it's important to note that the seasonal opening schedule remains long established across the OPW suite of heritage estates, but I think you make a good point that they're based upon established patterns of visitation and alignment with tour operator schedules, but I think you are right, and I would agree with you personally, that the year-round offering is one we should look at more and more, because we are looking at attracting more home investment in terms of tourist attraction. But thank you for the point, and I'll bring your points back to Minister Moran, because you do make some good points. So,
Gurmagad. And before we go to Senator Cosgrove, I'd just like to welcome the Bray School Project Primary School Group. You're very welcome. They're guests of Senator Crockwell. Enjoy your visit to Leinster House today. And it's tradition in Leinster House that school groups visiting get the day off homework. So enjoy your evening as well. Senator Cosgrove.
And thank you very much, Ara, for your response and for your support to that. I think, you know, and it has been very welcome that the season has been extended for 6 weeks, but it leaves the staff in a very precarious position that they have to sign on, which it makes no sense that they, you know, for the workforce, and then they are else have to get new jobs. A new job for that season, and you could, and this, you know, eventually could lead to all that experience and knowledge being gone. And you know, the Sligo Abbey have been, in the last few years, they have been instrumental in looking at particular festivals throughout the year. So they've put on a huge amount of stuff, now we'll say around Christmas, working with, we'll say, things like Music Generation, and they've really transformed the space. And we'll say now for St. Bridget's Day, there is carvings within the Abbey to mark our patron saint, which they were going to build up things around that, but unfortunately it's going to be closed. The same with Valentine's Day, there's actually a love knot carving within the Abbey as well, and around in St. Patrick's Day it's going to be open. But I think, in fairness to Minister Moran, he has shown commitment to it, but if it'd be great, Minister, if you could bring it back, all right, because especially if Donegal, we see in Donegal Castle how the impact it has, and like you said, the shoulder season is still a really important part of the year, particularly for rural towns, you know.
Ara.
Thank you, Senator. And can I welcome the students, Kate Mila Falchik, and thank you for being here, and thank your teachers for being here as well. And I hope you enjoyed the homework off. You should get homework off tomorrow night because you're probably not in school to get homework today, so let's give them tomorrow night as well off as well. I think we need to think differently, Senator Cosgrave, especially in the world that we live in with tourism and the threats that are happening in the world geopolitically. And we must look at the homegrown tourism and that shoulder season. I will give you a commitment that I bring your comments back. The OPW will continue to monitor the patterns closely and respond appropriately to demand. The OPW has demonstrated its commitment to supporting local economic activity and tourism initiatives both in Sligo and across the wider heritage estate through extended opening periods, enhanced programming and strong stakeholder collaboration. And you made reference to it. I want to just thank Sligo County Council for their whole collaboration on parking and being accessibility and Forge Ireland and the local stakeholders to improve access and the visitor experience in a manner that is sustainable, that is responsible, but also fully consistent with the long-term conservation of this important national monument. And that's 2 points, the conservation piece and the sustainability. But I think you make the great point for the Love Knot on St. Valentine's Day last Cahirlock. We could nearly all go to Sligo for St. Valentine's Day next year. And we have a Kerryman in the audience, and he could do it a bit of love after losing the league final to Donegal. But I thank you for, on a serious note, it's a very important contribution you've made. We are committed to the heritage and to the heritage sites, and those of us like yourself who love history and tourism recognise the importance of what you just said this morning, so I take it back for you. Good morning.